What's the backlog, you may be asking? Well, it's a series that I've been thinking of doing. Every once in a while a game comes along that I like to review, but it's too short or simplistic to dedicate a whole review to. So the backlog is a new series of mini reviews to showcase these games. And this is not going to be a regular series of videos. It's more along the lines of when I feel like it. If you see one of these types of videos, it's either because I'm taking a break or I'm playing something for leisure and not for the channel. But I would like this to become a regular monthly series, which is actually one of the Patreon goals that I created, and as of today, I've officially launched it. And there's a link for it below in the description. And I want you to consider it as a tip jar. You're still going to get the same content that you get now, and I'm not going to lock anything behind a paywall. The goal of this Patreon is to just bring more content to you. It's set up to take payments monthly, and if there's any feedback that you guys would like to see, changes to the goals, stuff like that, let me know and I'll make adjustments accordingly before February. I put a link for it on Twitter and no one said anything. And usually people do respond to something when I post something like that. So no one said anything, so I guess it's fine as it is, but I still would like more feedback. You think it needs improvement. So, first up is a puzzle game by the name of Quants, developed by Game Horizon. The visuals are alright and the music is relaxing, although the menus do have a lot of flashing lights. So if you're prone to seizures, you may want to stay away from this game. You use the mouse to rotate a cube or cubish object in the center. If you spin it fast enough, the balls on it will move about, letting you strategically put them in places you think are desirable. Spin it fast enough and you'll launch them all off the cube, and then you can collect them in a manner of shuffling them around. Your goal is to clear all the balls off the cube. You match 4 or more and they fade away. If there's other colored balls, they'll be launched off the cube, and then you can rotate the cube so that way they land on the same colored orbs and they too will disappear. Once you clear a level, you go on to the next until you clear the realm, and then you move on to the next one. There is no challenge to this game at all. The balls drop very slowly and only drop from one place. You have 10 minutes to clear each level, which is more than enough time to do so. Any mechanics that the game introduces, like freezing balls in place, aren't a hindrance or helpful. For $10, I think that's a little too much for what could be seen as one of those Zen games, so I think it's wise to get it on a sale. So, I think I'll give this game a Zen out of 10. Next up is Quick Slick Deadly, that was given to me by Stardust Speedman. It's on Steam under the developer name Adventurous Productions. Quick Slick Deadly is a side-scrolling shooter. You may be looking at this and be wondering, why is the image really small? I tried going into the settings to see if I could change it to make it bigger, but I couldn't. I like the design of the ship that you're given in the beginning, but when compared to other stuff on screen, like asteroids or enemy ships, it really seems out of place. You can control the ship with a mouse or keyboard, and I use the mouse for this, which makes it easier to control. It's like Gradius. It's got that old school shooter feeling, but the missions are almost impossible to complete. There was one where you had to go through dash rings to charge up your thrusters, but you had to complete the mission in under 19 seconds. I finished it at 1888. The one mission that pretty much made me quit was having to destroy an enemy ship with a secondary weapon. When you destroy 3 of the same enemy ship, you get their weapon. When you destroy 3 of the same enemy ship, you get their weapon as your secondary. This mission in particular has 3 enemy ships at the beginning and 3 at the end. After the third enemy, the perspective changes. However, it changes too fast. So the third enemy that was in the center of the screen is now at the top, and you need to destroy it to get that weapon. But then you have to go through a gauntlet of fast-moving lasers and then destroy 1 of the 3 enemy ships that come at you while you're still dodging laser beams. But the only issue I have is that the scrolling in the game is too fast for what the mission objectives want you to do, to the point where anyone would be forgiven if they rage quit. If the levels were longer, the scrolling was slower, or the mission objectives weren't so unforgiving, then it'd be a pretty decent shooter. I don't think it's bad, but it just needs some tweaking. Not a diamond in the rough, but probably more of a quartz. So I think I'll give this one a good first attempt at making a game out of 10. And finally, we have Race the Sun by Flippy LLC. It's visually simplistic, mostly gray colors and simple shapes, but it's done in a really nice way. And the music also has that Zen quality. The game reminds me of something that I played on Newgrounds a lot back when I was in college. You use the arrow keys to move the ship left or right. That's your only method of control. The ship you play is solar powered, so you need to keep it in the light or it'll lose speed. Some areas have a lot of shadows cast by the geometric objects that are in your way. At its heart, this game is an endless runner. just in a 3D perspective. If you run into something head-on, it's back to the beginning. You can wing the sides and corners of things, but you'll need to regain control of the ship afterwards. Once the sun goes down completely, it's game over. You can't extend the time by collecting yellow diamond-shaped things that will raise the sun so you can keep going. It's probably the most simplistic game on this list, as all you need to do is move left or right and avoid stuff, but I think it's the most fun game out of the ones that I featured, offering a good challenge and fast-paced gameplay. So Race the Sun gets a Fun in the Sun out of 10. And this concludes the first episode of the Backlog. So down in the comments section below, let me know what you think of this series. But from here on out, I do plan on doing at least 5 games per episode of the Backlog.